It's great to be on the news this morning. Thank you very much for joining us on the news update on African Free Press Television. My name is Arit Efama. 27 persons were killed and 62 others injured during bomb attacks on Mungono, a town about 135 kilometers from Maiduguri, the capital of Borno State. Witnesses told reporters yesterday that the attack on Mungono happened about the same time 54 persons were killed through bomb planted by members of the Boko Haram Islamic sect in Maiduguri on Sunday. A bomb explosion from a suicide bomber hit the onion section of a local market at Mungono on Sunday evening, which resulted in the death of not less than 27 persons, mostly traders. A medical officer at the State Specialist Hospital Maiduguri, who spoke anonymously, said 5 vehicles conveyed 62 injured persons from Mungono attack to the Specialist Hospital in Maiduguri on Monday afternoon, but were transferred to the University Teaching Hospital because of overstretched facilities. President Muhammadu Buhari will leave Nigeria for New York on Thursday for a series of meetings and interactions with notable world leaders at the 70th session of the United Nations General Assembly. The president is scheduled to hold talks with UN Secretary Ban Ki-moon, President Barack Obama of the United States, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India, among others. A statement on Tuesday in Abuja by Special Advisor on Media and Publicity to the President, Femi Adesina, said all the issues to be discussed include domestic development issues, bilateral relations, war against terrorism, countering violent extremism, the enhancement of global security, peacekeeping operations, climate change, and the adoption of a post-2015 global development agenda. The federal government on Tuesday admitted spending 222.1 billion naira on fuel subsidy between January and July without approval from the National Assembly and without its provisions in the 2015 appropriation. Permanent Secretary, Federal Minister of Finance Anastasia Daniel Nwabia, represented by Director General Budget Office of the Federation Aliyu Gusau, made the revelation in Abuja yesterday in her presentation at the ongoing public hearing organized by the House of Representatives Ad hoc Committee on the non-implementation of the 2015 capital budget. This came just as the committee queried the Finance Ministry over 600 billion naira it borrowed from Central Bank of Nigeria to finance the payment of salaries and wages, contrary to the provisions of the Fiscal Responsibility Act, which provides that money borrowed should be used to fund only capital projects. The committee, led by Honorable Aliyu Patagi, expressed displeasure and total dissatisfaction over the development, insisting that such extra budgetary expenditure had been issues of concern to the Parliament over the years. Residents of the former Minister of Finance, Chief Olufalaye, who was abducted by gunmen on Monday afternoon, is a beehive of activities as Nigerians have been visiting to sympathize with the family. However, it was gathered that the abductors have reduced the ransom demand from 100 million naira to 90 million naira, promising not to reduce it further. Speaking on the development, the personal assistant to Chief Falaye, Moshood Raji, alleged that the Fulani herdsmen had been tormenting Falaye's staff on the farm prior to the kidnap on Monday. Raji said the matter was reported at the police station, where the Fulani herdsmen signed an undertaking not to encroach on the farm again. When contacted, Police Public Relations Officer in the state, Wole Ogodo, said the command is still making efforts to ensure that the Afenifere chieftain is released unhurt. The federal government has opted for a low-key celebration of the 55th Independence Anniversary celebration in view of current economic realities in the country. President Muhammadu Buhari has, however, approved 70 million naira for the celebration that will kick off on Friday with Jumat prayers at 1:30 p.m. at the National Mosque, Abuja. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Babaki Lawal, briefed newsmen on Tuesday in Abuja on activities lined up for the celebrations. He said President Buhari approved 4 events to be observed in this year's ceremony, including Jumat prayer, interdenominational Thanksgiving, ceremonial change of guards, and a children's party. Lawal also disclosed that President Buhari would address the nation on October 1st at 7 a.m., which will be followed by the ceremonial change of guards at the presidential villa in Abuja. Amidst intrigues and bitter infighting, Former Governor of Bayelsa State, Chief Timipriye Silva, Tuesday night emerged flag bearer of the All Progressives Congress primary election. Although Oshomole was absent, 4 members of the electoral panel were present in the election, held within tight security, with AIG Felix Adenaike in attendance. Silva, who was declared winner by a member of the APC Electoral Committee, Nelson Alaba, recorded a total number of 726 votes to defeat closest rival and former member of the House of Representatives, Honorable Woman Ogoriba, who recorded only 10 votes. Burkina Faso's coup leaders have agreed to a peace deal with the regular army to avoid an outbreak of violence. It was signed overnight in front of the West African nation's most influential traditional ruler, the Mogo Naba. Under the agreement, the presidential guards behind last week's coup pledged to return to their barracks and the army to withdraw from the capital. Several African leaders, including Nigeria's president, are due to arrive to oversee a transfer of power. The presidential guard is loyal to Blaise Compaoré, the country's longtime ruler who was ousted in a popular uprising last year. The elite troops installed General Gilbert Diendere as the leader last week, a month before elections had been due in the landlocked country, and regular army troops entered the capital, Ouagadougou, on Monday, vowing to retake it. General Diendere has pledged that interim President Michael Kafando will be back in charge today. At least 10 people have been killed and more than 100 injured in clashes between the presidential guard and protesters. Meanwhile, West African leaders and their military chiefs are to travel to Burkina Faso to reinstate the country's interim leadership. Turkish Prime Minister Ahmet Davutoglu appointed 2 new cabinet ministers to replace 2 Kurdish lawmakers who resigned from the interim government amid a flare-up of violence between Kurdish rebels and the army. EU Affairs Minister Ali Haidar Konka and Development Minister Muslim Dogan resigned on Tuesday after accusing Turkey's government of promoting logic of war 2 months after a 2013 ceasefire with Kurdish rebels fell apart. The resignations come amid turbulence in Turkey as the military is waging an offensive against the Kurdistan Workers' Party, which has responded with bloody attacks on security forces. President Barack Obama will host Pope Francis at the White House for the first time today, warmly embracing the Catholic pontiff seen as both a moral authority and potent political ally. The packed and decorated South Lawn will echo to strains of the pontifical anthem and a thundering 21-gun salute as the 78-year-old is afforded a full ceremonial welcome on his historic maiden visit to the United States. Still, the White House is desperate to avoid suggestions it is co-opting a holy man respected by America's roughly 70 million Catholics to batter Republican foes in Congress. For more news, you can visit our website www.africanfreepress.com, follow at African Free Press on Twitter, and like us on Facebook, African Free Press. My name is Arit, a fan. To have a great day.